nobody hotter. Thank you for tuning in with your girl Tasha. We handle business, we ain't about to gossip. Here to uplift ya, now it's time to boss up. Hey, hey, tune in, nah, you can't miss. Making sure that you get your daily wake up list. We yelling bam, good vibes, good energy. Bam, being authentically me. Shout out Little Mo and Trinity, that's me. Gotta keep it in the family. Hey, your girl Tasha, YGT, time to get it hot. This is what you need. Hey, go ahead, turn it up. This my jam. Being authentically me like bam. Your girl Tasha, hey, let's dance. Being authentically me like bam. Yeah, now it's time to get it. Time to handle business. Yeah, now it's time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, we about to get it live with your girl Tasha. Hey, like bam. Let's go.
Hey, it is your girl Tasha, known to the world as a Tasha Carpenter, but everybody calls me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, what? It's like you're hanging with your girl, and you know what my favorite word is. It is bam, because I'm always being authentically me, and oh my goodness, I see Chicago is already in the house, guys. Chicago is in the house. Good morning, Terrence. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Everybody, as you come on, as we remember, make sure that you share and invite. And today I'm so excited to have is another election edition, guys. And remember, I always tell you that whether you're here in this area or not, that elections are going on all over the world. And it's my hope that as you watch me interview some of the candidates here in the DMV area, this would give you the opportunity to determine what you should be looking for in the candidates in your own hometowns. Okay. With that being said, today we have joining us is bam. There we go. The beautiful Miss April Ademiluyi. Oh, I just had it right. Don't say it. Ademiluyi.
Yes.
Okay, guys. We have April Ademiluyi joining us today and hanging with your girl Tasha. She is a candidate for Prince George's County Circuit Court Judge. Yes, and we have Mr. Derek Jones popping in. Thank you, Derek, and you did share on the screen too. So as you see, April, as we go, when people make comments, they'll come up on the screen, and you might be able to see them on the bottom there when they show up. So do me a favor and tell us about you, where you grew up from, what family was like, what your hobbies are, and all the other wonderful stuff.
Sure. So I grew up in Prince George's County. As you can tell from the last name, both of my parents are from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. For undergraduate, I went to University of Maryland College Park, where I earned my Bachelor's of Science in Chemical Engineering. And for law school, I went to George Mason. My hobbies are competitive boxing and kickboxing. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm a Prince George's County girl.
Are any children or anything?
No children.
Okay, well, Dr. Carla Conagay said very impressive. Yeah, she doing the hard stuff, Dr. Carla. She up here boxing people. She taking chemistry, energy, engineering, and all this other kind of stuff. You go ahead, Miss April. So we got you on here because you are, what is it? If I recall right, is there 5 positions that are currently open in Prince George's County for Circuit Court Judge?
Yes.
Okay, and you're running for it, and there's actually six people running for it. Yes. So that means that one person is not going to get in there, unfortunately. Right. And I'm really excited because I interview people all over the place. I always have Charles County, where Dr. Carla is coming from. She's laughing at the thing about me saying that you're doing all the hard stuff. So it's not shocking, Dr. Carla, that she would be going after a circuit court judge position too, which probably is not something easy to deal with either. Mm-hmm. I've had several candidates from Charles County on this year, and I've had Montgomery County, and I've had Prince George's County, but it's my pleasure that actually every one of the candidates for Circuit Court Judge come next week, each and every one of y'all would have been on the show. So I'm really amazed about this.
Wow, okay.
So tell me, why are you running for the position?
Well, it actually starts off with my law practice, right? So I graduated from law school in 2007 during the economic recession. And I built my law practice with an organization called Civil Justice. Civil Justice provides lawyer referrals for those who have limited financial means. So, we represent, people with limited financial means on civil and family matters. I've done a lot of pro bono work in the housing industry, especially foreclosures. And, that's just it. I'm always in the courtroom representing the poor side. And, during that era, I have to say that it wasn't fair the way my clients were treated. I think we all know and we understand at this point that the way our justice system treats you depends upon your race and how much money you have in your pocket. And, so, just from practicing law alone, and representing those with limited financial means, I always felt like we never got a fair shot. We never got a fighting chance. And, I can also say from personal experience, I've gone through some things that were very difficult. And I've also been that poor person fighting in the courtroom as an attorney. I had some things happen to me while I was practicing law. And, and I'll just be blunt. I am a survivor of rape. I was drugged and raped by my colleagues at a bar conference in Tampa, Florida, about 8 years ago. And, the lawyers in that jurisdiction were the offenders. And they had complete control over our justice system from the prosecutors to the judges. And, it's most jurisdictions work that way, right? So, it put me in a position where I was someone with, even though I had all that education, I was still someone with limited financial means, fighting for justice in a system that's really supposed to protect me. But because the offenders were in control, lawyers who had control over the prosecutors and the judges, I was tortured by that system. So, it's the personal experience I had being that poor person fighting for justice in the courtroom. It's the professional experience I've had representing the poor person fighting for justice in the courtroom that I realized that, we have the same problems here in this county that I've been in my entire life. And, I'm here to bring about change. I want judges on the bench that are loyal to the people, not the political establishment that put them there. I want judges who are loyal to the people, who can put aside race, who can put aside money, and just give people a fair shot in the courtroom.
Okay, I'm going to catch a comment that went off while you were talking. Dr. Collis said, not shocking. Thank you so much for your service, April. As a disabled veteran, I know about the hard stuff, but she's saying she's on a whole different level of hard practicing the law. And she also expressed not condolences, but sympathy with regards to your experience that you went through. And she said that you never win playing dirty. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Amen. So, and she talked about, she agrees with you about loyalty. So, I was on your website and I saw your story. Everybody, matter of fact, let me get her website up here on the screen. Where did it go? I got so many little things in here to post. There you go. Her website is on the screen, guys, and you can go on there and you can see her bio and you can see her story where she published she shared her story of being raped in the National Bar Association in April during the April is rape month or victim rape month or whatever. And when I looked at it, I can relate to you because I always share with people. I do events where I have women that come together. And actually at the age of 14, I was raped in Marlin Heights Shopping Center in a Track Auto by one of the managers that was there on duty. But I chose to take care of myself. My mother died without knowing it. My aunt and them learned it when I decided to share when I was doing a women's event. So I could relate to you on that aspect with that. And I was just like, I kept sitting up there. I said, she keep on putting NBA. I said, is she saying the Basketball Association or is she saying then I said, is she saying the National Bar Association? I said, this is crazy. I said it was absolutely crazy as I read through your story on that. So that explains why you're running for office, right? Now, from your understanding, Can you tell me what are the responsibilities of a circuit court judge? Because sometimes people don't understand what they do, why they're even important, because people only look at the White House when it comes to voting every 4 years, don't do it every 2 years. What is the responsibility and why is it important for people to vote for people in those positions locally?
Okay, so the circuit court, which I absolutely love, is so critical because the circuit court actually hears your more serious criminal cases, your civil lawsuits, um, that where money in dispute is over $10,000, your foreclosure cases, your family law cases. So they're hearing the very serious cases, and that's also where we have our jury trials. So it's actually called the Court of General Jurisdiction, where we have our jury trials. And, those are the judges that are interacting with people on very serious issues. And I don't know if I should probably back up and explain the court system. So let me start off with the district court, which actually hears the smaller cases, the civil disputes that are under 10,000, your traffic cases, and then above the district court is the circuit court. You can appeal a decision from the district court to the circuit court. So again, let me emphasize that the circuit court is where you hear the more serious cases, and those are judges that are interacting with the public. So yes, it's absolutely critical that we have elections for those particular judges. Now, the district court, which is below the circuit court, like I said, which hears the pettier matters, is those judges are appointed. They do not have to stand for an election to keep their position. So on the circuit court, that is a position where the governor appoints the judges, but our Maryland Constitution allows an attorney to challenge the judge who was appointed by the governor and give the people a say. I mean, the circuit court judge positions, they serve for a term of 15 years?
Yeah.
Right. That's a long time. Even after 15 years, they can retire part-time. They can stay there for life. And as I said, given the nature of the seriousness of the cases that they hear and, that they're the ones interacting with the public, it is absolutely critical that the public can actually weigh in and, that the public can weigh in and decide, the performance of those judges and, obviously elect judges that they feel, are serving in the best interest of the community in that capacity. So, I want to emphasize that. And then above the circuit court, we have what's called the Court of Special Appeals. You can appeal decisions of the circuit court to the Court of Special Appeals. Now, the Court of Special Appeals is not, what they do is they review the record of the circuit court. They're not actually doing what circuit court judges do in terms of, conducting jury trials where, it's up to the circuit court judge to find the facts. To listen to the testimony of the witnesses. When you're appealing a decision of the circuit court, those appellate judges they're not looking at witnesses. They're not there to determine, truth from fiction. They're, as I said, so the circuit court judges are absolutely critical. They're very important. They're very powerful. So, again, I can't emphasize it enough. This is the court where the people must have a say.
Okay, so with that being said, because some questions have started coming in and kind of sort of Miss, I hope I'm saying your last name right. It's Ellen McLendon dropped 2 questions, and they're kind of in line with the next question I was going to be asking you. One of her questions is how many jury trials have you had? And then she had the question of, have you tried any serious cases as well? So where my question was going to go, Ella, and I think it kind of addresses what you're putting in, was, speaking to your professional experience, what professional experience do you have that relates to those responsibilities that you just explained is associated with the circuit court? I know you said you worked with foreclosures. I saw on your page you even kind of doing the foreclosure bono cases for the people who are poor and stuff like that. But what other professional experience do you have related to those other areas that you talked about? I was writing them down when you said it. The working with criminal cases, civil cases, family law cases, and things of that nature.
Sure. So criminal cases, I actually, I take on misdemeanor cases. Your misdemeanor assault cases and misdemeanor traffic cases, those sort of very, very misdemeanor actually means that the punishment for the crime is certainly less severe. So yeah, I don't take on the serious matters for criminal cases. For family law cases, everything, divorce, custody, whatever comes my way. I can tell you when I first opened up my law practice, that's when I was doing more family law cases. But in the last, 6 or 7 years, I have not been taking family law cases. But it is, yeah, I mean, like I said, just, as a solo attorney, that when you're on the grind, building your practice, and as I said, I work with an organization called Civil Justice that gave me a lot of the referrals. You pretty much do whatever you can to help the community. So with respect to family law, I pretty much took whatever came my way, divorce, custody, whatever I was needed to do.
And I meant to ask you when you brought up civil justice the first time, do you happen to have the contact information for that? Because that could be very valuable to someone that's in need of support.
Absolutely. They have a website, civiljusticenetwork.org. So if you are looking for an attorney, yes, that's where you can call them. They will give a referral for you.
Okay, cool. Now we have Ms. Becky, tired wife. You tired of your husband, baby? Is that your real name? Becky's tired wife said, are the district court judges not interacting with the public?
No, they do. They do. But the difference between the district court judges and the circuit court judges is the types of cases that the circuit court judges are hearing. So, you have, and that's what I was trying to explain, the circuit court judges, that's where you hear your felony criminal cases. They're the ones making the decisions. They're the ones holding, the bench trials or the jury trials on the serious criminal cases, the family law cases, the foreclosure cases, not the district court. So, that's why I said it's absolutely important to have a say in who becomes a circuit court judge, given the seriousness of their cases and the fact that they interact with the public. So, yes, district court judges interact with the public, but, again, their cases are not as serious as what the circuit court judge cases. The circuit court judges are actually dealing with.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wrong comment. That daggone caller, you wrote a whole book. Hold on. Becky, I'm glad you laughed at me talking about you and your tired wife. Now, Dr. Carla Carnegie has put in, unfortunately, in Charles County, now voters are voting for folks because they are Black or white and not for the experience, background, what they truly stand for, and education. In 2018, a delegate actually pushed what was called the Black Slate, pushing others to vote for African Americans only. That isn't working for us right now. There should be diversity. I say do your research and vote on all levels smartly. Awesome point, Dr. Carla.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. I want to say that President Obama, when he picked his federal judges, he always emphasized that he wanted judges with real life experiences. Judges that can put themselves in other people's shoes and understand the impact of their decisions. So, yes, diversity is absolutely important, but race is important as well.
So what do you mean by race is important?
So it seems like she was just saying, the comment was we just need diversity on the bench. Yes, but at the same time, she was, if I understood her comment well, she thought that, pushing the African American judges was not the way to go. People should be looking for other qualities, not just race alone. And I'm just saying, yes, absolutely. Sure that's what you should be looking for other qualities, than race as well. But I'm just emphasizing the importance of race. Let's not say that race doesn't matter when it comes to judges, because race does matter. As I said, you want judges who can put themselves in other people's shoes, put themselves in the shoes of the people that they're deciding their cases. So obviously, race, your experience, all those things are going to matter. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. I'm sorry. They all can matter. But what Carla is saying is something I also agree with too. You're not getting my vote just because you're Black. Okay, this is not about you, not you, April, but anybody. You're not getting, for your girl Tasha, you're not getting my vote just because you're Black. You're not getting my vote just because we have the Black Lives Matter movement going on and there's other people that don't understand it, okay? Because we have people on both sides of the thing, Blacks and whites, that need to sit the hell down. I'm sorry, I said it. I always say that's your girl Tasha coming out. They need to sit the hell down and let the people in the middle that really want to work things out and help and make this world a better place for other people do what we need to do without having to deal with running sidelines for their foolishness, okay? Somebody said exactly. She about to get me started, y'all. Don't y'all know?
No, that's excellent. Like I said, I just wanted to emphasize that race is something that obviously you should consider in judgeships, and I think that's what she was saying as well. Diversity is important. We want race. We want all the other qualities as well. So I just wanted to emphasize that too. I mean, we just can't. Go ahead.
She came back and said, "We don't want Clarence Thomas in such situations."
Exactly. So yes. We want, and that's why I said not only race, but the person's experiences, their personal experiences. You got to figure out their personal beliefs and who they truly are, but not race alone. So yes, again, and I want to emphasize that you want judges who can put themselves in other people's shoes, the shoes of the people that come before them, so they can understand the impact of their decisions. And obviously, race alone is not going to determine that. We know that. So, obviously, just because, believe me, I agree with you 100%. I'm glad you said that. Voting on race alone sometimes works against our interest.
Absolutely. Now,
Thank you.
Renee Hunt just came and she said, "Do you think you're better slated for district court since you have no experience with the serious cases?" And that kind of goes along with another question that I already have too. But
I disagree with that. I when she said I don't have experience in a serious case, I don't take serious criminal matters. But I do have experience with a lot of cases before the circuit court. Like I said, the family, the civil disputes, the foreclosure cases, all of that is in the circuit court. So no, I am better fit for the circuit court than the district court.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to I think I'm gonna go out of order here. First of all, who is that? Tarjay Renee Roy said, "Oh, I agree with you, Dr. Cowler. I do believe that experience is important." Ella said experience gets votes, and also that we want experience is what Ella said. So where we go here, talking about experience, some people up until 10 minutes before you, and this one I haven't even read this, I got a couple of emails that asked a few questions. So I'm going to mix them in with questions that I already had with you as well. So speaking to what you said, serious cases, someone sat in and they said, it was so much stuff that I did a summary of it. And this is my summary of it. And then I'll give you the two questions that I allowed to come from the summary. In summary, the questions basically stated that the person had went and looked at Merlin case search, and it reflected roughly 25 cases associated with your name as an attorney. The filing dates range between 1996 and 2018. None of them, according to them, went to trial. One involved a dismissed criminal case. The others appeared to be within your professional line of experience, which includes no family law, which you just stated already that was incorrect. And the questions related to that summary is, what type of work have you been doing since 2018, since there's no cases with your name or filing dates? And based on your professional experience and the data case search, what makes you feel comfortable about playing with people and their family lives while pursuing a seat on a bench in the circuit court?
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting their, how they're searching their cases, because I have a number of cases pending right now. So I don't know how they're doing their searches. And if I understand the question correctly, they want to know exactly what I've been doing in terms of my law practice in the last few years. So in the last few years, I've actually been focused primarily on real estate and intellectual property. I also serve as counsel to the Maryland State Lottery. So, I mean, like I said, my practice is primarily real estate and intellectual property for the last few years.
Okay, real estate and intellectual property, which this is coming from YouTube. Andre Davis is chiming in. He said, another person saying that they want to talk about your courtroom experience.
Sure.
How do you explain the lack of courtroom experience? And I think it's not that you necessarily have a lack of courtroom experience. From the gist of the questions I got, they didn't necessarily think that they were related to the responsibilities of a circuit court judge. Okay, so let's go here. I'm gonna go back to one of my own questions and I'll drop back to them. According to Ballotpedia, As a candidate in 2016, you were defeated running in both the Democratic and the Republican primaries. Subsequently, you gained the Libertarian Party nomination, which allowed you to still run in the general election, where you were also defeated. What do you believe contributed to those losses?
Okay, so 2016 was the presidential election. We had, and Donna Edwards was running for the Senate at that time too. So we had huge voter turnout. So that's number one. Number two, I didn't have name recognition. Number three, I didn't have money. You know, we're in a county of a population of what, 1 million? In the primary, we had 200,000 people come out to vote. In the general election, we had, 500,000 people come out to vote. And I had no money, no name recognition, everything stacked against me. We all know it takes money, obviously, to reach voters. So that's why I lost in 2016.
Do you believe that you're in a better position in 2020, that now that you do have the name recognition, and do you feel that you're better to spend the type of money that you wanted to spend on advertising?
Well, I still don't have the money for advertising, but the difference is, the name recognition. I mean, I've been able to do a lot more work in the community and, working with other grassroots leaders, letting them know my platform, letting them know what I'm all about. So, that makes up for the lack of financial resources, which is the difference between, 2020 and 2016.
Okay, now when it comes to what people refer to as just marketing material, and it's funny because I have a question kind of related to it, and I'll come to you in a minute, Andre Davis. There is a nonpartisan. There's a Democratic sample ballot out there that has a nonpartisan school board candidate, Kenneth Harris, on it, and is labeled as Democratic. So it's going to be hard. I'm going to take you and I out of here for a moment. Hold on. Well, I don't need to show it. They want to know. People want to know, how did you get on this ballot?
On Kenneth Harris's ballot, does it have my authority line on it?
Hold on a moment. Look, okay, I'm gonna have to do this where you'll see it on the screen. I'm gonna take both of us off of here for a moment. I'm gonna just bring it up on the screen. I don't got time to be playing with these controls. Hold on. They emailed this to me as well. Let me take this off.
Right.
Okay, that one, I guess that's the back of it.
Right.
In addition, we also have, here's the front of it, I assume.
Okay, yeah. So, right. And all the way at the bottom, you see my authority line.
Okay, so you did authorize for you to put on
right.
Now,
so Kenneth and I worked together on that ballot. Yes.
Okay, so then I guess that goes, let me go back to putting back up the show name. So if you work together on it, does that mean that you contribute to the printing of it, or you invested any money in it?
Right. So that means, yes, I invested money in it.
Okay, so that helped you to do your advertising with it. Yes. Is there any particular reason why it's listed as? Are you in some way? I'm trying to get our name back for the studio back up on here. Lord have mercy. Okay, are you in some way, based on this comment that just came in, insinuating that you are a Democrat by being on there? Because as Andre Davis says, why is April listing herself as a Democrat? You're not running as a Republican, right?
No, and I don't understand where he would even get that from.
Okay, but judges are supposed to be nonpartisan. You're not supposed to be running as anything, right?
That's incorrect. That is incorrect. And the rules of the judge race are so complicated that it I'm going to do my best to try to explain.
You'll be the first one that came on here and said that. But yeah, please explain if it's different, because all the rest of them that came up here said different. But go ahead and let me know.
Different is not even, no, that doesn't sum it up. Complicated is a better description. Okay. So let's go back to 2016 when I lost in the primary. Judges are allowed to, or judicial candidates rather, are allowed to seek the Democratic nomination and the Republican nomination at the same time. But we know you cannot be a registered Democrat and a registered Republican, right? And
Okay.
we know when you're running for any other political position, delegate, senator, you have to be affiliated with the party that nominates you. So if you're seeking a Democratic nomination for a senator position, you have to be a registered Democrat. So now let's compare that to judicial races. You can seek the Republican nomination and the Democratic nomination at the same time. Okay, this was 2016. That's what the law was in 2016. As you mentioned earlier, I ran in that primary. I lost. Now, with respect to judicial candidates, what they call the sore loser rule, where if you lose in the primary, you can't switch your party affiliation and get a minority party like the Green Party or the Libertarian Party to nominate you to proceed to the general election.
But today you can't, but you could in 2016 because that's what you did, right?
Right. In 2016, you could do that. You could do that. So the sore loser law had an exception. It didn't apply to judicial candidates. So I lost in the primary, but I was able to get the Libertarian Party, who happens to have a very strong platform on criminal justice reform that is aligned with progressive Democrats. I was able to get them behind me and put me on the ballot for the general election in 2016, but I lost there. Now, they changed the law immediately in 2016 after I did that. They did not want judicial candidates to be accepted from that sore loser law. So now, judicial candidates, if you are defeated in the primary, you cannot get a minority party to put you on the ballot in the general election. So when I tried to run in 2018, what happened was I decided to skip the primary for several reasons. Primarily the problems that we have with the sample ballots running around. We all know the sample ballots, unfortunately, control our elections. The more ballots you have out there, the more likely you are to get elected. Very few and far between have been able to overcome the ballot situation. So I actually decided to skip the primary, not deal with the ballot fight, and go to the general election. What I had was the Libertarian Party nominate me to proceed to the general election. Now, I was sued. And their basis for that lawsuit was, I'm a Democrat. And if I'm a Democrat, the Libertarian Party should not be able to put me on the general election ballot. And the court said, okay, fine. She's a Democrat. So we're going to lay out these rules. If you are a Democrat and you're a judicial candidate, you have to run in the Democratic primary. You can also run in the Republican primary if you choose to, but you got to run in the Democratic primary. So,
okay, well, you got a whole bunch of questions that's popping in the daggone chat, and you kind of addressed some of the questions as in what you just said. But I'm gonna go ahead and scroll back up here and try to find some of them. I'm gonna go through. Okay, so we heard Andre's. Andre, she says she's not a Republican. She don't know where you got that from. She's a Democrat. I got an email that said you was a libertarian. She ain't a libertarian either, so I don't got to go to that question from my email. And the consensus that's coming in right now, well, this one is not related. So let me give Ms. Michaela Wilkes. Hey, Michaela. She says, I think it's good for circuit court judges to disclose their party affiliation. I wish that more would. But again, Michaela, like I said, all the ones that came on with me have told me that was, you couldn't do that. Even from when people were coming into the studio at WBGR during the 2018 election, I got the same thing. So I don't know. But so here we go. Sean Michael Wilson, basically, along with, well, he tried to say you're not a Democrat on his next comment, but she's saying she is a Democrat. But he said
the court made that very clear. I'm a Democrat.
So Sean and Renee together, their messages are kind of the same together, right? With the fact that we talk about the sample ballot that you were on, that you worked on, that you said that you authorized to be on. But April probably criticized the Democratic sample ballots that was mailed with Angela Alsabrook's picture on it, which both you and Kenneth Harris were left off. So you both paid to release a Democratic sample ballot that leaves out the rest of the Democratic candidates. Does that make any sense? And also, Sean's was, but you criticize others for being on ballots. So why would you do that? So those two questions are together. I guess you can answer.
Sure. Actually, Kenneth Harris was not. He wasn't left off of the Democratic sample ballot with Angela on it. He's on there. So, as I said, this county, unfortunately, is conditioned for some reason to vote by ballots. And it's really just the lack of interest of the voters. It's easy for them. They see a picture and they see a name and they vote. They see a sign and, they like it, they vote. So, we have an uphill battle in trying to educate voters to actually want to look into who the candidate is. And the reality of it is most voters are never going to do that. They're just not that interested in politics to do that. So
Okay.
I'm not happy about the sample ballots, particularly because it costs money. It costs a lot of money just to even, my sample ballot is actually different than what Angela did. I put a bio. I said, go to my website, check me out, vet me, reach out to me. This is what Angela did here is just her picture, no pictures of any candidates, telling everybody what to fill in. When Kenneth and I designed our ballot together, we wanted more substance to it. We wanted to encourage people to actually figure out who we are. Don't just vote off of this piece of paper. Check us out. So, my sample ballot is not anywhere. It's nothing like what Angela's doing. Go ahead.
So help me understand, because they saying if we criticize the ballots, why the heck we doing the ballots? But what I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that not necessarily do you have a problem with sample ballots, you have a problem with the content that's put on the sample ballot. Or am I wrong? Okay,
yes.
Because that's why people are like, you saying one thing, but you're doing something else. But it seems like it's the quality of it and not using your name to influence people to vote for other people that they may not research, which is no difference than some people with these Facebook groups that I call keyboard bullies telling people what to do and people don't go out there and research it. So I understand what you're saying on that. Now, Latasha Ward is here and she's saying a sample ballot is a marketing piece. Candidates should have a right to market to reach voters. The official ballot is the black and white one. Yeah, we showed the official ballot. Matter of fact, it's still here for me showing it last week, what an official ballot looks like for people to look for, there. But yeah, so what has just been stated is that her issue is with the way you format the sample ballot and the quality of the content that's presented through the sample ballot. Right or wrong?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So now,
and I was just going to say, I mean, I definitely want to emphasize, especially on Angela's sample Democratic ballot, which I have right here. It's a Democratic sample ballot, but, we have Jared Michael McCarthy listed on it, who ran in the Democratic and the Republican primary, and he lost the Democratic primary. And he's also, not only did he lose the Democratic primary, he is a registered Republican. So this is problematic. I mean, this is misleading. It's false. This creates a lot of problems. So, I mean, it just goes to show, back to what I was saying about, putting real quality on your flyers, not just, writing the word official. They actually used to write official ballot. Now we actually got them to take that off, and now they're using the word sample ballot and just putting names there. And I think unfortunately it perpetuates the problem that we have with voters who are just not interested, not going to look anybody up, and will just simply vote off of a sign or a name and a pretty picture and call it a day. So
right now, Renee Hunt, she says every voter should research all candidates, period. Sean has came to say the Democratic Central Committee is supposed to put out the official Democratic sample ballots.
Yes, I mean they should. Charles County did a really good job. They put out their official sample ballots, and they actually included the Democratic nominee in the judge race. For some reason in Prince George's County they wouldn't do it. I don't really understand what the issue was there. But they chose not to get involved in the judge race. I mean, they'd like to believe it's a nonpartisan race, but it actually is partisan. And the Court of Appeals made it so clear, when they disqualified me, that the judge races are partisan partisan races. But obviously the role as a judge is nonpartisan. You should be able to set aside your political beliefs and simply interpret the legislator's intent and apply the laws fairly. But yes, the judge races are very much so partisan, and we have to accept that unless the legislator decides to change it.
Sean, I'm going to correct you. You said the Democratic Central Committee is supposed to put out the official Democratic sample ballot. Oh, okay. This got everything in it. I was about to say, because this sure came from the board. And we came to, don't look at that color stuff. Go get your little gray piece of paper and research these people on this gray piece of paper, okay? And Becky asks, doesn't it say the judges are nonpartisan? Let me look in here and see.
No, it doesn't say that. What happens on the general election ballot is it just doesn't show you which political party nominated that judicial candidate. So you have to look up the results yourself. If you want to know who won the Democratic primary, you have to look it up. But yes, judges can disclose their party affiliation. They absolutely can. You know, again, we're vying for party nominations like anyone else running for office. So absolutely, they should disclose their party affiliations, but they don't. I mean, you know, obviously it's easier to say nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't show party on here. Like she said, the ballot doesn't exactly call it. I know, right? Okay, so hold on. You just spoke of nominations. You didn't get have you got any nominations? Because like you said, Prince George's County hasn't, the DNC hasn't done anything. Did you receive any nominations from any other groups or committees by any chance?
You mean, so I won the Democratic nomination.
You won, but have anybody, I'm sorry, endorsed you? That's the word I'm looking for. Do you have any endorsements?
Oh, endorsement, sure. Progressive Maryland endorsed me. I mean, in 2018 and 2020, this cycle as well.
Okay, cool. Renee says, how do you feel you are prepared to sit over serious criminal cases that you have no experience with?
Well, first and foremost, no one can go into the circuit court with experience of every type of case they're going to hear. That's the nature of the beast. You know, 99% of the judges that go through that door, you know, have no experience in some area of law. That's the way it is. I mean, you know, the law is just, I mean, it's just such a broad field. There's so much out there. No one can go through the door with experience and everything. But what you want is obviously someone who's intelligent, someone who works hard, someone who has the ability to quickly learn law and be able to apply it. So it's not so much about getting experience in everything, because you just can't get experience in everything. You know, so you'll see that as well. I mean, if you start researching judges, you'll find out, oh, wow, this person doesn't have any experience in this. Doesn't have experience. I mean, no one can have experience in everything. That's not what it's about. That's not the way we choose judges.
So I heard you say, oh, Latasha Ward stated that apparently the DNC did do a nomination flyer or something, but they just didn't include anybody from the school board or the judges because they're supposed to be nonpartisan. So
the school board race is nonpartisan. The judge race is partisan. The independents were not allowed to participate in the primaries. They did not get to vote on the judges. Only the Democrats and the Republicans were able to vote on the judges.
Okay. Now, going back, I'm going to come to you, Ella. From your, it might have been Ballotpedia too, that said your professional experience includes working as an attorney on cases involving foreclosures, real estate litigations, consumer protection, class action litigation, bankruptcy, trademarks, copyrights, and patents. And when I asked you about the duties of the circuit court judge, you did explain that they oversee foreclosures as one of the things. So that's how the real estate, because someone made the comment about you're talking about real estate law, and they would like to know, you know, shouldn't you at least have some jury trial law? Well, she is saying that everybody doesn't have anything. But out of your professional experience, according to Ballotpedia, it sounds to me like based off of the responsibilities or the duties that you said the circuit court judge has, the only thing that you might be in line with is the foreclosure one. Or is it something that they didn't mention on Ballotpedia about that could relate to the circuit court judge position?
So, right, civil litigation, family law, you know, all those things are still in the circuit court as well. The foreclosures are still there. You know, so yes, I have enough experience that's aligned with the duties of a circuit court judge.
Okay. She didn't say experience doesn't matter, Ella. She said that people can be passionate and may not have everything, and there's other people that are there that are doing a job, and some see them as doing the job well, and others they see as not doing the job well. So she didn't say experience didn't matter. I didn't put your comment up here. Let me put your comment up there, Miss Ella. Okay, so now this was an email question that came up. And again, it just seems like the whole concern that everybody is expressing is having to do with experience for some reason. This was a separate person that sent this email. Oh, now we're going to get off experience. This is going to be the last experience question that's on here. Now let something come up on this chat. But this said in 2016, and I think you kind of already addressed this, but I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. In 2016, Ingrid Turner went against the sitting judges and won, although many believe that she lacked experience. Today, people are still complaining about her being in that position. Some have expressed that she got in that seat simply because she was a Black woman, and it appears you are no different. So, April, for me, I'm asking you, what's your response to them comparing you to Judge Ingrid Turner?
Well, one thing I can say about Ingrid Turner, yeah, she had no experience and she's doing wonderful, isn't she? In terms of her competency, she is doing wonderful. I mean, Ingrid, and that's what I also tried to explain to you earlier, that no one can go in there with the experience of everything you can possibly do on the bench. But what you need is the ability to be able to learn and be able to do so. So, I guess Ingrid Turner is a great example. Someone who had absolutely no experience, who's been there for 4 or 5 years now and is competent and doing a great job.
Okay.
So I don't think, honestly, I don't think it was, go ahead.
They implied that she wasn't doing a great job on that question though, but you think she's doing a great job.
They implied that she's not doing. I have not heard that she's not doing a great job. I've heard that
this person feels that she's not, and they feel that she only got there because she's Black and not experienced, and so it's the mess that they thought it was going to be is what they were implying.
Oh, well, that I was going to say, I have not heard that. I've heard she's doing well. So, I can't speak to that, to that comment that she's not doing well. I've heard the exact opposite.
Renee Hunt just chimed in. She said the lawyer says that she's a disaster.
I haven't heard that. And I know some lawyers that said no, that she did well. Or when she, they've had experience before her and she did well. So I guess it just depends on, who knows? Maybe it could be the day she's having. Maybe it could be the type of case. Who knows?
Your girl Tasha don't have to go into court, so I can't tell y'all. I ain't have to go into court. Look, so now I think that this is a very legitimate concern and question that was submitted. It says a lot of your ads speaks about the Me Too and giving women a voice. That's and boy, this person, these typos. I think they're saying what happened to you shouldn't happen to any woman, and I'm sorry that it happened to you. But you have criticized Gladys Witherspoon for representing anyone who is accused of rape and called her a rapist supporter. Can you be fair and impartial to a man that's accused of rape that may be innocent?
I disagree with the statement that I have been. I'm sorry. That I've been unfair to Gladys Witherspoon because she represents.
That it says you have criticized Gladys Witherspoon for representing anyone who is accused of rape and call her a rapist supporter.
That's false. That's absolutely false.
And this came from a gentleman.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
No, that's false. I have not criticized her for representing those who have been accused of rape. I have a number of colleagues that are magnificent attorneys who have done so. So I don't know where that statement would come from. That is absolutely false.
So let's change it. How with the fact that you've had that experience, how would you, I guess, are you able to take that out of your mind if someone comes before you, if you're on the bench and they're being accused of rape? Are you able to be impartial and really trying to look at the facts versus having a preconception about this person is guilty?
Well, why would I have a preconception that this person is guilty? I mean, I don't know where that would come from, or why anyone would assume that I would have a preconception that someone is guilty.
Like, experience. They're acting like your experience because you went through the experience of being raped that you may not be able to.
Okay, but
separate.
I understand what you're saying, but that's absurd. I mean, it's what they're essentially saying is because that happened to me, I think all men do that or something. I mean, that's ridiculous. So no, there's no preconception in my mind that every man, must be doing the things that, obviously these men have done to me. No, I don't have that kind of bias. But, if I did have a bias, not just on a rape case or any other type of case, I would just recuse myself from that case. I'm not here, to basically, promote a political agenda on the bench. I'm not there for that. Like I said, it's all about giving fairness to people. If I thought I couldn't be fair, I would walk away. That's one of the things I could tell you about judges over the years that have really, really, upset me on a number of cases is, when there was clear bias and they refused to walk away from the case. I would not do that to anybody.
Okay.
But I think it's ridiculous to say just because of a personal experience that I have some sort of preconceived notion that all men are doing something just because they're accused of it. No, we don't know. We live in a system where people are innocent until proven guilty.
Maybe for you, April, but the fact is that it happens every day, whether it's from a person that's a victim of rape or whether it's from a racist cop. There's people that have preconceptions and no matter what, people are going to be guilty, and some of them are wearing uniforms or maybe even robes that they shouldn't be wearing. That's just a fact.
And that's it. I mean, and you hit it right on the nail. I mean, we can't assume that every police officer is going to do us harm. I mean, we have to be fair to them too, just because of a number of cases we've seen on the news. No, I mean, you just can't live life that way.
Right. You just are not that person. So that's the thing. No. That's why I thought it was a fair question, because the fact is that it really does happen. Now, Renee Hunt says that as far as you stating that she feels that you're being false in saying that you never made the statement, because several people have said that you made the statement about Gladys, but we're going to leave that alone. With their experience from everyone's preconception. Okay, Dr. Carla said, recusing oneself is the responsible thing to do. Absolutely, I agree with you. That's why I was shaking my head when she said that. And Brenda Simpson says, when I vote, I look for experience and do not look at color. I want a person to be able to handle the position. Okay, now I think we touched on a lot of the questions, but at this point, I want you to be able to just say anything and explain to people why they should cast your ballot. Recap why you're running for this, how you believe that your experience and what you could contribute to the I forgot to ask you. Do you see any problems? What problems do you see within the court in the Prince George's County Circuit Court system? Because you running 3 times in the same year and losing, and then deciding to come back, considering the next time and then coming back, apparently there's something there that you have a passion about, that you feel that you can contribute to or change the outcome with or whatever. What do you see besides the experience that you have for your own personal self and that stuff that's on your page? Everybody need to go to her page and go read her story. You got to read it. You'll be amazed. But what do you see wrong with the Circuit Court of Prince George's County or of Maryland, the Merlin Circuit Court?
Well, it's really, I can only focus on Prince George's County, the things that I'm seeing there. And you hit it right on the nail. You could see the passion in me for social and economic equality in our justice system. That's what it's all about for me. Since 2016, I've been screaming from the top of my lungs. My courtroom is going to be one where wealth and status does not prevail against the law. We don't want the corporate interests. We don't want the big money controlling our courtrooms. We don't want race working against us in the courtrooms. That's what it's always been about for me. Not only because of what I've been through in my personal experience, but what I've seen in my professional experience. And, those are the issues that I do see in the court system of Prince George's County. I mean, we have to be realistic. We have a great vetting process, but is it really great? Because it gets very political. And, politicians ultimately end up appointing judges. And we need judges who are going to be loyal to people, to the interest of people. We don't want judges who are loyal to the interest of politicians who care about the interest of corporate or big money, and put those interests before Black people. I mean, we're in a predominantly Black county. So that's what it's always been about for me. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I've come back time and time again. Believe me, the establishment hates my guts. They're doing everything they can to beat me down. But I'm just going to keep coming and do what I have to do, like I said, because this is something I'm very passionate about. We need more people on the bench who are going to be loyal to the interests of the people, not the big money political machine that put them there.
Okay, and with that being said, look, I wonder, I have to announce who is our guest next week that's going to be on here. And you know what? The term the establishment, I started hearing that more so during, I guess because I was in the studio doing election work and everything in at WBGR during the 2018. It's kind of like when I started. And that was really my first time hearing that term. Because again, your girl Tasha, I ain't got time for the drama. I'm going to do my research. I'm going to vote for people. I don't need nobody to tell me their opinion. I'm going to figure it out. So I wasn't in the mix with people calling me about the establishment. Because when the first person called me about Tasha, well, the establishment is trying to put in, I think at that time they was called Maha Hassan Amen, who did end up wanting to be a clerk of the circuit court. They were saying that she was part of the establishment. I said, what? Who establishment? What is the establishment? So when you're talking about the establishment, does that part of that include part of the I guess is it the people who like the governor appoints some people? They got to go through the vetting process. They get appointed there. Is it because they're being appointed that they're considered as part of the establishment, or do you look at some of the candidates who are running that they are willingly a part of this establishment?
So even though the governor appoints, it's still the establishment that has that influence over the governor, to appoint the individuals that they want on the bench. And it also sounds like you're trying to get an understanding of who or what the establishment is. So the establishment, they're in Prince George's County. They're two politicians who have been around for a very long time, who have a lot of power and a lot of influence.
The only I guess you want to say, I'm like, the only old politician I know it. Never mind, I ain't gonna say nothing. Okay, hold on. Let me look. He be like, did that girl from the union say that? I don't care. You don't got to get my check no more. The local union now. Anyway, let me stop acting crazy. One question popped in here. Do you view yourself as discrediting other candidates instead of focusing on your own campaign? Ella is asking, why are you so focused on discrediting other candidates instead of focusing on your own campaign?
That's not true. That's not my goal at all.
Okay. And Michaela said the establishment is the Merlin political machine that gathers the politicians to uphold the status quo and protect the corporations. Are y'all talking about Steny Hoyer? No, I ain't.
That would be her opponent, right? So yeah,
that's what it is. Let me stop. What did I hit on? I went to an old comment. Y'all ain't fooling with y'all. Y'all know because I'm not in the where did that come from? Oh, unfortunately, the current leaders of our county isn't concerned about those who are not wealthy. He isn't concerned about fairness, integrity, and transparency. Many tend to follow his lead. That's from Carla. Ella said, it is laugh out loud. Michaela said, laugh in my butt. Don't be having me cussing, girl. Anywho, I ain't messing with y'all. See, this is how they do on my show. I ain't messing with y'all. Okay, let me get to pulling up who the heck is here next week. Bam. Okay, guys. So next week, the remaining of, except for one person, he's not available. But next week, we're going to be talking to the sitting judges on the bench, Wytonia Curry, Kathy Surratt, and Sharon Grayson Kelsey. All three of them will be here next week. And I'm sharing with you why they believe that they should, two of them be elected and one be re-elected into the position because she's completed her 15 years. And of course, as usual, if you guys are looking to book to be on Your Girl Tasha, this is how you do that. you give me a call or hit me up on Facebook or come to my Facebook page. As a matter of fact, guys, make sure that y'all like Your Girl Tasha on Facebook, subscribe to Your Girl Tasha on YouTube, and call me on 240-545-5695. You know, if you want to be on the show. Everything's not about politics, okay? We want some feel-good stories as well, too. So, April, okay, Becky says she's gonna be here next week because she want to know why in the heck why are they appointed. Okay, that's been an old conversation there. McCarthy is not available. Sean said he's not available or whatever. They reached out to me, and Dr. Carla said, my apologies, I'm down with Stanley. Hi, Dr. Carla, I've been to Stanley's bull roasters and stuff too. But you know, I'm down with him, and Stanley could do the booty call and the wobble, baby. But sometimes some things you need some things that are fresh with some things. Sometimes you gotta be receptive. You could be old and be in the position, an old person, a seasoned person. Let me not say old because I'm not talking about age. You could be a seasoned person, but with us knowing that we're going into 2020, you have to be willing to mix the flavors so that you can reach everyone. That's just my personal opinion. Stop laughing, Dr. Caller. Anyway, all right, here we go. Last comment I'm taking. Senator Mike Miller have health issues and he's not involved. Mike Bush died in 2019. We have a powerful woman in Annapolis now, so politics is different. Okay, that's from Latasha Ward.
That's her opinion. She's entitled to it.
Okay, who's the powerful woman she's talking about?
I guess she's talking about Adrian Davis, the Speaker of the House, and you know, things aren't always the way they appear. That's for sure. But she's entitled to her opinion. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it. Anything else you got to say?
No, that's it. Thank you for having me.
And can you pinch yourself underneath the arm? Wasn't that bad? You still here, right? Pinch yourself.
Oh, I'm still here.
You're still here. All right. So hang around for me. Stay right here. And then we're going to go ahead and close out, guys. That's another week of hanging with your girl, Tasha. Looking forward. Shut up, Rocky. I'm going to take you outside in a minute. That's what happens when you're at home and not in the studio, okay? There we go for an ending of another hanging with your girl, Tasha, guys. See y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Ain't nobody hotter. Thank you for tuning in with your girl Tasha. We handle business. We ain't about to gossip. Here to uplift ya. Now it's time to boss up. Hey, tune in. Nah, you can't miss. Making sure that you get your daily wake up list. We yelling bam. Good vibes, good energy. Bam. Being authentically me. Shout out Little Mo and Trinity. That's mini me. Gotta keep it in the family. Hey, your girl Tasha. YGT. Time to get it hype. Hey, this is what you need. Hey, go ahead, turn it up. This my jam. Being authentically me like bam. With your girl Tasha, hey, let's dance. Being authentically me like bam. Yeah, now it's time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, hey, now it's time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, we about to get it live with your girl Tasha. Hey, like bam.